Hey guys, welcome back to building a robot arm. So this week we're going to continue on the mechanical build of our robot arm. This is the base that we built last week. So we learned about these metric screws and how M stands for metric. M3 are the ones that we have, metric 3 screws, because these screws here, they're 3 millimeters in diameter, which perfectly fit these holes, all these holes here. And we learned how that these screws go into these holes in here perfectly, and they self-tap, meaning that they eat into the plastic in there, so you don't need to put like an extra nut or anything here. But we do have some extra nuts that are going to be used to fasten certain parts of the robot arm. Okay, but we don't need all of them because a lot of it is self-tapped, like this, and this, and these two as well. These are also self-tapped. Okay, so now today we're going to continue building, and we're going to build a platform on top of this motor. So I want you to imagine that this is like a tank, okay? And if you have seen a tank, the top of a tank has like this turret thing, right? Where it turns. Now, some tanks, the turret, maybe it turns 360, like all the way around, a full circle. But ours, because we're using a 180-degree servo motor, it can only turn half a circle. So one thing that we're gonna look at later after we build this thing is we wanna make sure that it turns this way, okay? Why? Because later, our noggin is going to go on there, so we don't want our arm hitting all the wires and stuff here. We want it to be turning this way, not this way. So that's something kind of just a sneak peek, something to look forward to. We're going to have to figure that part out as well once we build it and we attach it. But first, let's build this turret thing. All right. So I'm going to go over to the top-down view of our project. 1 second here. All right, I think we are ready. Okay, here we go. So this is an overview of all the parts. So we are going to need 6 different plates for this turret thing. We have, I already have a 1 here. This is 1, and not this one. 2, 3, and then we have this piece right here. I think it kind of looks like a shoe. And then these 2 connector pieces, 5 and 6. Okay, so 6 plates. They're all going to come together to make that turret thing. And then we're going to also need 4 screws. We're going to need 4 of the M3 by 12 millimeters. Okay, so make sure you can use your ruler to make sure it's 12 millimeters long. That's the second longest one, so it's going to be 4 of these. And then we're going to need 4 matching nuts as well. That's going to go with these M3 12 screws. All right, we're also going to need one of these servo couplings, this type right here, and then one of these servo screws as well. All right, and so we will, that's what we got. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Let's grab our parts. So it's a good time to probably pause the video or just take a second, just grab all these parts. We don't want to get the wrong things. The bigger parts, it's pretty obvious because these 1, 2, and 3 are one of the some of the bigger parts. This one, the shoe part, it's the only one that kind of looks like that. This one right here kind of looks like a shoe, but not as much as this guy. And then these connector parts, it looks like they're the only ones that kind of look like that. Okay, let's start building this guy. Okay, I'm gonna put this to the side. This will come back later. So here we go. 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, shoe piece. Okay. So let's go ahead and piece this thing together to make sure they fit. So all 6 of these pieces are supposed to come together and make a turret thing. Let's start with this piece. So I'm going to put this to the side for a second. Grab this piece. This is going to be the bottom of the turret here. And then grab this one, okay? The one with a slant on it. And your first task, this is kind of fun, I think. It's like a puzzle. Yeah, I don't know if you've ever done a 3D puzzle. That's what this is going to be. We need it to like slide in. So you see this is all not working. So this is like a total failure right now. None of it is working. But here's what you can do. It's 3D. You can flip this. There you go. Okay. So that's something that might have to happen. You might need to flip a piece, or maybe even flip this piece. All right, a little tricky, kind of fun though, okay, I think. So we got that going. Now let's get a second piece. Let's get this car piece, okay? This car piece goes in the middle here. And yeah, is that correct? No, it doesn't look correct because look, you see, I have like right here where my finger is, there's a little gap there. That's not right. It should be like this. Ah, flush there, flush down there as well. Okay, so you got to be careful. Okay, you got to look carefully when you're looking at this. So I got those pieces going, and then let's get one of these connector pieces. Okay, I'm leaving that there. Now these 2 connector pieces, they are, wait for it, exactly the same. All right, so it doesn't matter which one. So just grab one of these, and these will like slip in like this. So just like our 3D puzzle thing, you got to make sure we get it right. Boom. That's good. And then same thing on this side. Oh, see, that is not correct. But I think like this. Boom. Okay. All right, it falls apart. We need to fasten it, but it fits. And then this last piece, just to make sure everything's good. Let's get this guy in there. It's like the most satisfying part, right, of the puzzles. The last piece, you get it in there. Unless you're missing a piece. But we are not missing a piece. Hopefully you guys are not missing a piece either. And boom, I look at it, everything is flush. So everything should be flush like this, okay? All the little sides, then I'm feeling good, all right? So now my turret thing looks good, except I need to fasten it together. Now I want to point your attention to this. This is actually an open source project designed by Ben Gray. Ben Gray, shout out to you. So he's someone who had this idea of designing a robot arm out of 2D plastic pieces that could fit together like a 3D puzzle, and he created this design, and I think it's pretty cool because you can actually fasten these parts together with just a nut like this and one of these screws. So how it works is that the nut will go into this hole right here. All right. And then once it's through, this screw will go through the hole here, go through this, go into the nut, and then as it tightens, it will pull this piece right here and attach it to this piece. It will like sandwich it in there. So I think it's pretty slick. Now, here's the thing. It's a little bit tricky, okay? I'm gonna do this live rather than like, just splice it and then all of a sudden it's done, okay? Because I want you to actually see that, hey, if it takes me a little bit of time, it might take you a little bit of time, and that's all right, okay? So I'm gonna take this out. Okay, first step is to get this nut into there, but here's the tricky thing, okay? If I push it all the way through, what's gonna happen? Well, first off, I can't even get it through. Look at it. It's not going through. Well, because I need to rotate it so that it's in the right position. So if it's stuck like this, that means you need to rotate it, okay? That happened to me the first time. I'm like, these nuts don't fit in there. I need to, but watch. I rotate. See, once I rotate, it goes through, but then look, it fell all the way through. That's not gonna be good. So what I need to do is take this finger, this is how I do it. I take this finger and then I put it here to block it from falling all the way through. Okay, you see my finger coming through right there? All right, we gotta have some technique here. We need some finesse, okay? So we're gonna put it in. See, I put it in, but my finger right here is preventing it from following all the way through. And then I take the screw here, my M312 screw, I put it through the other side, guide it through. Now, a little bit tricky, you gotta make sure it's all aligned, otherwise the screw won't screw in. I think it's in, I'm just using my finger. It shouldn't take much. Okay, and now you see it's all the way, it's already through there, and then now look, this is already semi-attached. Now I take my screwdriver here and then tighten it up. Slick. Okay. Now let's do this one right here. Same thing, I'm gonna keep everything together. Okay. Same idea. Let's put the screw in and turn it this way. All right, there we go. It's not falling through. Take the M12 or M312 and then make sure it's lined up. If it's not lined up, the screw is not going to go into the nut, okay? All right, it's going in. Once it's kind of in there, then I can now use my screwdriver, tighten it, boom. Okay, pretty good, I think. All right, now let's do the other side. Same thing. We're gonna do a total of 4. This one right here. Okay. Going in. You see, and you know, this is live, man. I'm not like splicing this or anything. But you notice that first time it takes a while, but then once you finish the second, get to the third, it just kind of gets easy. Practice makes perfect, guys. Okay, so then we have that one, and then last one right here. Oh, okay, I got cocky there, man. All right. Here we go. Okay, there we go. All right, it's semi in there, and then let's and you know what? This can happen sometimes. Let me double check. From time to time, and this happens in life, you might get a screw that is Okay, this is actually good that this happened. It seems like these two, they don't quite go together. This can happen. If you ever bought screws, nuts and bolts from Home Depot, usually they're pretty good, but from time to time there's some imperfections in manufacturing. So I don't know if is it this or is it this that's the issue? I don't know. So I'm gonna put this aside. I'm gonna grab another one and see. This one seems to work. Okay, so I'm gonna put this to the side. I think we get extra in the kit, so don't worry. Okay. So that may happen too. If the thing, like whatever you do, it's not going in, it might be that there may be some manufacturing issues with that part. It's possible. Okay. Now we should be good. I want you to notice though, one point that once I noticed that there might be an issue, you notice how I took the nut and the bolt out and then I tested it out here to confirm, okay? So that's something you can do as well. So rather than trying to do it in here, just take it out and see if it works on the outside and then put it back. All right, I'm getting that in there. Boom. Okay, I got 4 connections. This thing is, there's a little bit of wobble there. So I'm gonna get my more powerful screwdriver here and just put in some final finishing touches on this guy. Okay. Cool. Okay, so now let's see what's going to happen. We're going to take this. This is going to go onto here. Okay, so how is this going to go onto here? Well, we're going to use this servo coupling, and because the servo coupling will go on here, right? So we need to then attach the coupling to the piece, the turret, that we want to couple to the motor. So let's take this and put it like this, something like this, okay? And we need to then screw this in using one of these servo screws, all right? Let's see here. Okay. And actually, as I'm looking at this, I may have misspoke. We're going to need a screw on this side and also a screw on that side. So we actually need 2 of these servo screws. Now, just to clarify, these screws are not the ones these don't come in the robot arm kit. These come with the servo motor. So when you get your servo motor, you have these couplings. Inside that same bag, you have these screws. Okay, just to clarify. Now, we're gonna have to take this. This is gonna go like this, and then the screw is gonna go in from the inside, and then come through, go through this hole, and then into one of these holes, these little holes on the white piece. So let's try that. Okay, like that, something like that, and then see, it's like that. Let's make sure I have this. Okay, so that's not a good idea. It's totally not centered, right? So if it's not centered, when it turns, it's going to be off center too. So that's not what I'm looking for. We want to make sure it's in the center. So let me remove that a little bit. All right, and then, so this part can be a little bit tricky too. We want to make sure we hold it So that's about right. And then we take this part and then we okay. So not the easiest part. Again, might take a couple tries, and I want to do this live so that you can see. The key, guys, is that we want this hole right here to be on the center of this hole, like as most close to the center as possible. Okay, so that's like okay, that's pretty good. And then here, let's see if I can, let's see what's going on. Okay, I can see it. It's trying to come through there. Okay, so what I do is like hold this down, like push it down like this with my 2 fingers, and as I'm pushing it, go ahead and screw this part in. Again, you're gonna have to use some power. You can see it has come through. Oh, okay. Once that was, I think this side is gonna be a lot easier. Again, a little tricky. Okay, see it's coming through, same thing. Let's push down and then turn. You see it's coming through. Careful not to poke your finger. Cool. So now this is on there, pretty solid, and then this can then go onto this. Turret time. Nice. And then what's going to happen is once we get it on, we can put a final screw right into that hole right there to attach it to the motor. Okay. Now before that, let's go ahead and take our little Nano here, and you notice, let me move this first. We have 4 holes here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. These 4 holes actually match these. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I want you to line it up like this, and we're going to mount it on there. What we're going to use is M3 12s. All right. And you know, you need 4, but just to make sure we have enough screws for layers, let's just mount with 2. 2 should be fine. Let's put one in this corner right here, and let's put another one on this corner. Oh, that corner there and that corner there. All right, so these 2 corners should be good to secure it. All right, and then on the other side, and that's just to show you. Now to actually mount it, we're gonna have to put a nut right there, right? So let's put one of those matching nuts. Actually, I'm looking at this right now. That's not going to be great because look, these right here, it's the flathead of the the top of the screw that's showing, but over here we have, it's going to be the bottom of the screw. So this part will be sticking out more than this. That's going to cause it to be uneven. So never mind, guys. We're going to do something. We're going to adjust our plan. We're going to flip it. We're going to put the head on this side. See, guys, we design along the way as well. There, see, that's going to look, it's going to be better. And then we just take, okay, a little tricky, a little tricky. Okay, I have that on there. I'm going to hold this and screw it in. Boom, I got one. And I think it's, look at that. It's way too tight. This part can't even go down. So that was a little overboard. Let me loosen. Okay, I think that's good. And same thing over here. Okay, it's looking good. All right, I'll do the same thing. I'll just hold it here, and then this side, screw it in. All right. Okay, so now that we have this mounted, we can now figure out how we want this thing to be set up. Okay. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so looking at this, here's what you need to know. All right, this, you see on our turret thing, we have this slant right here. It goes from low to high, and then there's this peak right here. Okay, this peak always needs to be facing the Nano. Okay, so what I mean is that it needs to turn like this. Okay, so if this thing is over here like that, that's not good, because what's going to happen is that the claw is going to extend out this way, and it's going to be hitting the Nano, so we don't want that. Okay, so this cannot be on this side. This peak always needs to be kind of along here, so like this. All right, so I'm going to leave this next part for you. What I want is that when you're going to have to figure out, you're going to have to put this thing on here. Okay, so you're going to mount it, and the way that you mount it is I want you to mount it in a way so that when you go angle 0, when you program to angle 0, it goes like this. Okay, so actually that's not what angle 0 should be like this, and then angle 90 should be like this, and then angle 180 should be like this. All right, so try that out. See if that's possible. It may be that this may be 180, or sorry, this may be 0, and then this may be 180. That's okay as well. Okay, as long as, so the main thing is that the motion is like this. So this peak right here stays back here. Okay, we never want the peak. If the peak gets all the way to this side, see the peak's on this side now, we're in trouble. Okay, so that's the challenge. So it's going to be an exercise of like calibration. We did this a little bit with the cardboard arm when we figured out, okay, when we move the arm, like how do I make sure that when I go to here, it's like 100, it goes to 0. When I go to here, it's 90. And so we had to remember, adjust where the arm was. All right, so once you figure that out and it's good, where it goes 0 to 180 on this side, like that, then go ahead and put that final screw in this hole right here and fasten it. All right, so give that a shot, and good job. I will see you on Thursday.